Hello, this is Arielle from Inconspicuous Bear, and I'll be narrating the heroic version of the Darmac encounter in Blackrock Foundry from a Guardian point of view. If you remember the Iron Khan encounter from Throne of Thunder, you'll see pretty much immediately this is basically exactly the same thing, with the exception that some ads spawn periodically throughout the fight. Otherwise, the same, general mechanics apply. There's 3 different mounts, in air quotes. Each of them gives a different ability, blah, 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 blah. The primary thing you need to know is that he will pick the next mount based on whichever one is closest to him, and the general order you want to go is Wolf, and then the big beast thing, I don't know what it's called, and then the Lilac. So you want to make sure that he's being closest to those particular beasts when he gets pushed into his next mount phase. Generally, this is only really a problem for the big beast one, because the other 2 will automatically be chosen by default when you're taking him next to where the ads spawn. So just make sure that you remove him for the big beast when you're pushing him for that transition. First mechanic you need to be aware of the tank is the one that persists throughout the entire encounter, which is called Call the Pack. Basically, he summons summons 6 ads, I think, which always come from the same location, which is the little doorway next to the wolf pen. Depending on what you're tanking with, this may or may not even be an issue. For example, I tank with a monk, so I literally just ignore them the entire fight. Other tanks like Paladins have really easy ways of picking these ads up, so do Death Knights and Warriors. You basically just have, if you're the ones that's supposed to be picking up ads, you basically just have to run over there and sit there and spam Thrash until you grab all of them. Otherwise, there isn't really much you can do. The second mechanic will be active while he is on the wolf, and when he is dismounted after the wolf is dead, which is called Rend and Tear. Basically, he'll leap to a distant location and then leap back, and everything he hits within 7 yards of his landing spot will be affected by a bleed, which stacks. Generally, this is really easy to avoid because you can just run. As soon as he leaps away, you run, and then when he leaps back to the location, you'll be out of range of the Rend and Tear, and then you won't take any sacks. That's by far the simplest way to deal with this mechanic. The second mechanic, which is the first real taunt swap you'll encounter, assuming that you deal with Rend and Tear correctly, is called Crush Armor, which will occur when he is mounted on the big tall beast thing. Basically, he'll just reduce your armor by 10% for 15 seconds, and you'll swap every 2 stacks, I believe, is when the timer will reset. So make sure you're doing that, and whichever tank is not currently tanking the boss will be primarily responsible for picking up ads, although you'll be taking him next to where the ads spawn anyway, so generally picking them up shouldn't be that big of a deal. The last mechanic you'll need to be aware of as a tank on this encounter is called Searing Fangs, which only occurs while he's mounted on the Lilac. This increases the amount of fire damage you take by 20% every time you're hit by it, and you get hit by it from his melee swings. So don't be surprised if you get up to like 15 or more stacks of this. It by itself is pretty trivial, because the amount of extra fire damage you take from the melee swing is kind of meh. It doesn't even matter. It's if you get hit by Inferno Blast or the Superior Shrapnel. I guess only Inferno Blast, because Shrapnel only occurs after the Relac's dead. But if you get hit by Inferno Blast, this is going to be a lot of extra damage. So just make sure that usually you'll swap off every ad wave, so it's like every 18 stacks or something like that. But otherwise, it's not really something you have to be aware of. Your talent choices for this fight will be pretty standard: Feline Swiftness, Cenarian Ward, Soul of the Forest, Dream of Cenarius, and Pulverize. You could make some argument for Wild Charge if you are the one that needs to be picking up ads, although most of the time you're going to be tanking the boss, or whatever portion of the boss is currently being tanked, on top of where the ads spawn anyway, so it's kind of not even that useful. But otherwise, yeah, this fight is not that hard, and there's pretty much nothing that's going to threaten your survival unless you fail at moving out of Rend and Tear, and you get like 3 or 4 stacks or something like that. But otherwise, this boss is pretty easy. It's a very easy fight to tank. Hope you enjoyed this video, and good luck in Blackrock Foundry. Tantrum.
Yeah, we should revival this whenever.
Pins in 5.
Melee, please stop getting hit by that. Range, please stop being right beside melee.
Pins in 5.
Burner breath, don't get hit by that. Ads. Burner breath, move! Swap.
Spell 2 stacks or higher.
Burner breath coming. Move! Burner breath in 3 seconds. Move!
Spell on Kyle.
Hold spell.
Your heart. Breathe out fire.
Heroes in 30 seconds.
Move. Tantrum 1.
Tantrum. Pin 3. I'll trank after the pins go down if you want. I'll get.
What's
them
space
out.
now? We only get one shot of them.
Okay.
Swap.
Let's do every other tantrum cooldown, so I think we're gonna get a few of them.
Oh, you're my hero, Zavin.
Spell on Kyle.
Can you tank boss, please?
I'm pinning fire, but yeah.
Let's get Trank down.
Already happened.
Healing tide as well, then.
10 seconds for revival.
Save that one for a bit.
Got the boss.
Yeah, we should revival the next tantrum no matter what. So we don't lose any more people.
Tantrum 3.
Just go up.
Hemming so we don't lose anybody.